And I thank God for my dad. He himself had a powerful testimony of how God saved him from a really broken past. A man who really loved God, but from very young would demonstrate this. It's so important to be in church, to be part of church, and to be part of the community and the family of God, but there's more than that. We have to take this out into our world, because God did something deep within my heart, and I believe it was part of His call and my plan when He took us in the middle of winter, and we were all well dressed with our nice big warm coats and, this happy little family. And He said after church one evening, He's going to go see a family. We're taking food and blankets. It was in a really poor area, just the outskirts of the city in Johannesburg. And we went there and we went in with Him. And I'll never forget, as we walked into that home, it was ice cold. There were little children, 5 or 6 children, sleeping on the floor. There was no furniture in that house. There was one table and chair, no beds, nothing else. And they had very thin little sheets. They were huddled up on the floor in the corners. And it deeply, deeply penetrated me, because not only did I see what we should be doing as God's people, but I saw something shift in that home as we brought the love and the warmth of God. My dad taught us from young that we need to be carriers of hope and of blessing to the world. And that deeply impacted me, because yes, we experienced God's presence in church, but that evening, I truly experienced God, maybe for the very, very first time. You see, it's only when we step out of our comfort zone into things that we are uncomfortable, things that we often avoid, do we really experience the power of God working through us. Before we went to church, and we lived quite far from our church, we would get up really early on a Sunday morning. The family would get dressed, we'd sort of get into the car, and he would go and minister at a high security isolation hospital, one of the only kind in Southern Africa. This hospital was originally built for those who were suffering from leprosy and serious infectious diseases. So we were not allowed to go out. We would stay in the car, and my dad would go and he would minister to these men, not once or twice. This was many, many years, isolated from their families, and in most cases avoided by society. Very few would go and see them. But my dad showed me something else. He went with the love of God, knowing that there's power in what we carry. We don't have to fear sin and sickness. We don't have to fear these things, because God has, by the blood of Jesus, given us a power that overrides this. But when we learn that we can shift atmospheres, when we step into those situations, not only are we bringing the light and the love of Jesus, we're changing things forever.